Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mumbai Speech and Debating League training session for today is going to be the second day. Today, I'm going to cover as to what is turncoat and what is WSTC in depth, because yesterday we saw the introduction for WSTC and turncoat. I'm going to tell you more techniques for today. But before that, I hope you all remember what the theme is. And because we had a quiz right now, you all understand the quiz and the matter for the quiz like very thoroughly. So you know what it is. It is different sources of education and the way how education can be burdensome or dehumanized for individuals who are studying, which is why the entire tournament is going to run on the theme of education and sources of education, which is why a lot of topics, and today you'll get your topics by the end of today's session, and you'll realize as to there are so many different heads of education, but also so many problems, challenges, but also merits, demerits of like different sources of education as well. With that, let's move on towards turncoat. So you know that turncoat is a speech event, and you also know that the topic that is going to be given to you, you're supposed to prepare for both sides, okay? For the motion and against the motion, which means that whenever the topic is given to you, just keep in mind that I don't have a particular stance. So you don't have to choose whether you can speak for the motion or against the motion, but you're supposed to prepare for both sides, right? But what also you're supposed to remember is that how much time do you have? Just like quickly in chat box, how much time do you have in turncoat? Fast. 3, correct. So you have 3 minutes, right? So what you would want to do is want to divide the time in such a way that it is equal for and against, right? So if you have 3 minutes, what you would do is prepare for the motion for 1 minute, prepare against the motion for 1 minute, and then you have 1 minute left. So what you're going to do is use 30 seconds in the introduction and 30 seconds in conclusion or summary, right? So the flow is going to look like this, okay? So it would basically look like first, you will give a brief introduction as to what the topic is for 30 seconds. Then you will have 1 minute speaking for the motion, and then you will speak 1 minute against the motion, and then 30 seconds you'll try to summarize as to what your thoughts are on that motion. All right. So I hope this is clear. So you have 3 minutes. I know people have good maths here. 30 seconds introduction, 1 minute for the motion, 1 minute against the motion, and then 30 seconds summary, okay? So summary is basically going to be like, what is your opinion on the motion, or what do you think should be the balance between what we believe? For example, if the motion or the topic is money cannot buy happiness, and you have spent 30 seconds in introduction as to what money is and what happiness how people perceive happiness, and then you're basically saying as to why money cannot buy happiness, and then 1 minute you're saying as to why money can buy happiness. Then why yes, money can probably buy you happiness in some scenarios, but money probably cannot buy you, let's say, emotions, friends, etc., right? So at the end of the day, you would want to, like in your conclusion, you would want to make it like a good balance between proposition and opposition. So it will be more towards the neutral side of the topic, right? So I now want to, okay, Vidhi, what's your question?
Will there be a timer so that we know that 3 minutes are done?
Yes, there will be a timer. However, we want students to have more autonomy for themselves, which means that you are grown up, so you're supposed to keep a timer with yourself, a stopwatch, so that you know that this is what your timer is. But also when you're preparing your speech, continuously to keep practicing so that you know, okay, this is the matter that I'm going to cover in 30 seconds, and this is going to be in for 1 minute, and then 1 minute, and then 30 seconds. So you would exactly prepare your speech for 3 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, yes. The question is good. Any grace time will be given? Yes. 15 seconds of grace period will be given to you, which means that after 3 minutes, judges will allow you to speak for next 15 seconds in order to wrap up, which means that in this period of time, you should be concluding or summarizing your thoughts. Other than that, you cannot exceed that time limit, because if you exceed 3 minutes, 15 seconds, judges are going to reduce your marks in method, okay? So do not try to go ahead and basically exceed that much amount of time as well. But there's one more question that I would like to specifically answer. So here's what you're supposed to do. 30 seconds for introduction. This will be your flow. Okay, 30 seconds intro, 1 minute for, 1 minute against, and 30 seconds summary. So the introduction is basically going to be like the introduction towards the topic, where you're not going to basically tell us to why money cannot buy happiness or why money can buy happiness. You would just say what money is, what you think money is, how people believe happiness is, etc. So you would just generally give an introduction to the topic. Okay. Lavanya, what's your question?
Ma'am, can you tell about the 15-second grace time in the end once again? I did not get it.
Yes. So the time limit for you is 3 minutes, but in case if you're unable to finish your speech in 3 minutes, you will be given 15 seconds of grace period, which means that within the next 15 seconds after you have crossed the 3 minutes mark, you can conclude. Otherwise, if you also exceed 3 minutes 15 seconds, your marks are going to be reduced. Okay, cool. Tanvi, what's your question?
Ma'am, we have to introduce ourselves or about the topic.
I cannot hear you properly. Would you be able to type it in chat
Can we
box?
come closer or type on the chat box?
Ma'am, we have to introduce ourselves or on the of the topic introduction.
You will be, yes. So in the introduction that I told you for 30 seconds is not your introduction, it's the topic to like introduction to the topic.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Vedang.
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of Vedang, this is ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, in the IIT Kanpur one, it was 1 minute for, 1 minute against, and 1 minute conclusion. So you're changing that this time. It's 30 seconds,
Yes.
1 minute followed by 30 seconds.
Yes, correct.
Just confirming that, ma'am, since it was
Yes,
different
yes.
last time.
Yes.
So that
I
is how
like
what you
the
will
way
say to
forward,
every.
yes. Yes.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, I like how you observed it. It has actually been changed from the last time. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for the clarity.
All right. Sian.
Ma'am, after the topic is given, how much time we will get to prepare for the topic?
You will get the topic today, which means that you have 3 days to prepare for the topic.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, Prisha.
Ma'am, so when we'll speak the speech, the topic will be given on the present day or before that day?
You will get the topic today, so you'll get three days to prepare for the 3 speeches.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Advait?
And ma'am, we have to say the speech without seeing, right?
Yes, as much as you can, try to memorize your speech.
Yeah,
Yes,
after just click the waiting room as well.
Okay. Advait, what's your question? Okay, I think it was by mistake. Nidish? Nidish?
Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am, should we have to introduce our name and our school name?
So you will not be introducing your school name and yourself in the 3 minutes. You will be doing it before your time starts. So you could just say hi to the judges and then tell your Nidhish from 4th standard. You don't have to go further, just that, and then say that when the timer starts in 3, 2, 1, and that's when your timer is going to start. So your introduction, introduction to yourself, is not included in the time. The introduction to the topic is included in the time. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Divarsi.
Yeah, this is Devash's mom on behalf of her. Ma'am, this is a first round topic. I'm going to give it today, right?
Yes, all the 3 rounds topics is going to be given today.
Okay. And for the 70. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for the 17th batch, the first round will be on 17th, or all the 3 rounds on 17th only?
All 3 rounds on 17th.
Okay, and how they are actually judging the kids, means all the 3 rounds or 1 round each, one at
So
a
it will
time?
be the average of all the 3 rounds.
Okay, so it means 3 rounds will have 3 different topics.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
And the format will be same for all these 3 topics.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay. Tanvi?
Ma'am, you will give 3 topics, so we have to talk on all the 3 topics or on only one topic from that?
So there are 3 topics and there are 3 rounds, which means that you're supposed to speak for all the 3 topics. So prepare for all 3 topics. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. Vanya?
Yes, I wanted to ask that we have to mention our name in the speech.
Before your speech, yes. Okay. But I'm guessing you would also rename yourself on Zoom, so judges would know who you are. But like just for I think just introduction, you can always give your introduction. So I'm guessing there are no more questions. All right, let's move to more.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay, go on.
Ma'am, we have to introduce ourselves along with this name and with our name and the school names.
The way how you want, if you want to mention your school name, you can, but your name is enough.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Ayushma.
I actually missed yesterday's class. Can you just tell what are the 3 topics?
So it is sent on the group, and the recording and PDF has also been sent on the group. Could you please check it?
Are you sure you had signed up for dramatic adaptation?
Ma'am, actually, I didn't understand what dramatic adaptation is.
No, I'm saying, have you signed up for dramatic adaptation or for turn code?
Yeah. For debate. Like the debate.
For debate. So you join back at 6:45.
Okay, ma'am.
The debate then. Okay.
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 Gracie?
Ma'am, what's the dress code?
You can wear whatever you're comfortable in. So if you like wearing formals, you can wear formals. If you like semi-formals, party dress, whatever you're comfortable.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Tanvi?
Ma'am, actually, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay. Vivan?
So, ma'am, for turn code, there will be 3 rounds on 17th.
Yes.
And so we have to speak about all of them, all of the 3 rounds.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Anvi?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. What's your doubt?
Ma'am, my doubt was that in each 3 rounds, how many minutes of break we'll have?
Like around like 30 or 15 to 30 minutes break. So you will have time.
Okay, ma'am.
Cool.
Just
Let's
see the
move-
waiting room again, Afrin. Sorry to bother you.
Yes, yes, check.
Just keep checking on it.
Okay. Let's now move on to more details in turn code as to what you're supposed to keep in your head while you're making your speech. So what you're supposed to do is that your speech should be so well prepared that you should practice it and it should be well timed, which means that you shouldn't speak like much more than 1 minute for, or you shouldn't speak more for against. You should exactly speak for 1 minute, or if you want to make it like 55 seconds, that's okay as well. But you should exactly time yourself in such a way that it is basically equally divided. So it shouldn't look like hey, Afreen is speaking more against rather than for, because then the judges might reduce your marks. Okay. Second, whenever what you're doing is that, let's say if you stated 3 points for the motion, make sure when you're going against, you're probably rebutting your point. So rebuttal is basically just going against what you said, right? For example, if I mentioned in the motion, on the topic that money can buy you happiness, I mentioned, yes, money can buy you happiness because it can basically give you so many more materialistic things. For example, I can play the best PS5 I have. I can basically go to the best vacations I want to, etc., etc. But when I'm going against the motion, I can say, even if I can buy, let's say, PS5, or even if I can like go to vacations, I cannot probably buy friends to play with me for like with that PS5. I cannot buy family who can go with me to the vacation, which means that money necessarily cannot buy you the happiness which basically comes from people around you, because that's basically emotional connect. Okay. So what you did here is you first stated your own point, but you contradicted your own point when you're speaking against. This basically this basically shows as to how you can contradict your own points and your ability to give logic and justify two different things exactly opposite from each other. So I think this is just like general technicalities that you can use, but also add interesting twist to the junction. Well, for example, whenever you're changing from for to against, it shouldn't look like, since I've already talked about for, let me now move towards against, right? So whenever you have finished your introduction, then your for. After, when you're switching from for to against, it shouldn't look very very imposed or very forced. It should probably look very natural, very organic, which means that, for example, if you ended with a point which said that you can get good education from money, you should probably start your speech by saying that even if you can get into good college by money, you can probably not get good skills, or let's say good or hard work from money, right? Because that comes from within you. This basically looks like you exactly contradicted the point that you stated in the end of your for speech, because now the judges can't necessarily figure out as to how the transition function. And that's the best transition, when judges don't feel that it's imposed and it doesn't look like a separated speech. It becomes like a very organically well cohesive speech. So it's basically like whenever you're transitioning from for to against, it shouldn't look very imposed or very coerced. It should basically look like a very organic speech where the transition is very smooth. Okay, so just remember that the transition should be very creative. So you can use your own thought and processes whenever you're forming your speech in order to see as to how you can do that. Some people say panel, and this could be one of the ways how you can go ahead and change from for to against. So it could look like panel. Forget whatever I said that. I do not quite know what possessed me for the last 2 minutes, right? So you basically just contradicted your own self, because, for example, when you just ended your 1 minute supporting the motion, you just tell the panel that, panel, forget whatever I said in the last 1 minute. I don't know what possessed me in order to believe in that. Let me now tell you as to why it is essentially extremely bad. So it's also a very creative way to go ahead and transition from for to against. This is on transition, right? I think it's also necessary that because the time limit is equal for it, you're supposed to also keep equal content for the motion and against the motion, which means that probably have equal number of arguments for the motion and equal number and against the motion. It looks like if you have 3 points for the motion, include 3 points against the motion, because that way you're going to probably have a good structure as well. So last minute is going to be your structure in terms of when you're going to conclude your speech. The conclusion should be a balance between for and against. So you're probably going to come up with a neutral stance as to why yes, money is good, but money is also bad in some places, right? So make it creative, make it more fun. Yes.
May I just request you to just check on the waiting room, and what you can do is you can open the room so that the folks can enter without disrupting you. On the security shield, you will be able to say enable locking in. Just remove that and let them enter. Are you able to see people in waiting?
Yeah, I did it. Cool. All right. I hope this is clear. If there are any questions on transition, just raise your hand and let me know.
Put that fan in higher.
Kyra, be on mute.
Okay, Prisha.
Ma'am, you said that last minute, we have to do concluding or something. I didn't get that.
So your 30 seconds, last 30 seconds is you're supposed to give a summary of what you said in the first 2 minutes. So it's supposed to basically tell the judge as to what points you included in order to justify or against, basically oppose that motion. So it could probably be a balanced neutral stance. So there you don't have to support it or oppose it. You can just give a neutral stance of hey, money is good and money is bad in some places. But what we need to know and see is that money shouldn't guide as to how we live our lives, because humans should be the ones who should take active decisions, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Apsara, do you have a question?
Ma'am, in first we have to speak on first topic, and in second round we have to speak on second topic. Like this, we have to say.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
House of Chandigarh.
Okay, Advait.
Ma'am, can you demonstrate the whole speech, how we should speak?
So demonstration is for tomorrow, because tomorrow is a practical session. So I'll give you a demonstration tomorrow. Okay. And
Okay.
in meanwhile, we have also sent videos on the group. So you should probably watch those turn code videos.
Okay, ma'am.
You can probably go on, I hope you guys use what's YouTube in order to get those educational videos, because YouTube has really good illustration on how kids of your age make really good speeches on turn code. So you can probably take some inspiration from there as well.
We'll
But
send
that
them.
does, yes, yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, just one
Yes.
second. Anna, I just want to go to people who raised their hands, please. Agastya, go ahead.
Ma'am, are actions allowed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Nidhi.
Ma'am, can I?
What is the meaning of panel?
Panel is the judge sitting in front of you. Judges, all judges together. Our panel.
Very sweet question. Yeah, Sandy. It's a good
Ma'am,
question.
as we have to take all the 3 topics for turn code, means how are we going to say, like 1 minute you said that one topic, the first you will say like that you said. So I have a doubt, like how are we going to say it? All
Yeah,
the
I
three
want to say one thing once, Sanvi. See, we wanted to make sure that all of you have maximum chances to do your best. And sometimes we are just warming up, right? It's my first speech and it's the first time I'm ever doing it. So we thought about it and we said we will give them 3 chances. But every chance will be for 3 minutes. So every chance has got a topic. You say 1 minute for it, 1 minute against it, and 1 minute what you want to conclude. So that is my one speech. Then on your next round, you get another speech topic, right? Which Afreen ma'am will explain. So every time you're speaking for 3 minutes. But in a day, because you're doing it 3 times, you're going to speak a total of 9 minutes. Is that clear? Yeah? Yeah, Tanvi, go ahead.
Ma'am, can you please again explain part C in the behind slide?
Yeah, just stay there only, Afreen. Let's just quickly spend some more time just to make sure that they've understood. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just come to that. Purvansh, what is your doubt? I want everybody to ask your doubts. You're a very small group right now. Yeah, Purvansh, go ahead, ask your doubts.
Ma'am, for 3 rounds, ma'am, will you qualify
Not for
or
the first 3.
ma'am, you will
Be on
qualify
mute,
best
Perry.
out of 3?
Yeah, Perry, be on mute.
No, there will be a team which will be against us.
Perry, can you be on mute, please? Thank you.
Listen, 1 second, wait.
Excuse me.
Ma'am,
One
from
second,
the group
Purvansh,
of
one second.
3.
Perry, can you, Afreen, just mute Perry for a second, please. Purvansh, you are going to be given 3 chances. Okay, I need you to
Yes,
play a minimum of 1 so that I can calculate your scores. But when you play 3 chances, we'll take an average of all that. Average means basically we can take all the performance into consideration. If you don't play any, then we don't have any idea of how good or bad or how you have done relative to everybody else. If you play 2, then you have got 2 times to sort of tell us how well you're speaking. We would encourage all of you to do all the 3 rounds. And that's the reason that we are really going to release the topics today, end of the day, so that you have adequate time to practice. Now, if I was you, then I will go back and calculate that how much can I speak in 3 minutes. Normally a person speaks a word in a second. Okay, so in 3 minutes, it will be approximately 180 words to all the parents and all the students who are hearing. So 180 to 200 words is what you will end up preparing for one round. Yeah, I hope that clarifies. So we'll go slow over here. So Vedant, go ahead. What's your doubt? Vedant, can you hear me? Okay. Shania, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, do we have to do all 3 topics if we are prepared for 2 or we are confident on 2?
You're supposed to prepare for all 3 rounds because you're supposed to attend all 3 rounds, because that's how the average is going to be taken. But also if you attend all 3 rounds, that's the best, because it's there are chances if there are extremely different scores. For example, if you did extremely went first and really good in second, and the third round was really bad, there are chances that we will eliminate the worst score from the 3, right? So you would want that chance, right? So I think you should debate.
Shania, you realize you get better with practice, better every time you say your speeches. And that's why ma'am is saying, why don't you do all 3? Because you already know the topic, right? Do all 3.
All right.
It's better for you. We've seen higher scores when children do all 3. Vedant, go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I was just confirming that you're not going to take an average. No, that means you're going to take the best score of the 3 for one person.
No, we're going to take the
it's-
average. Yeah,
average of the 2.
Ma'am, if you take, ma'am, if
Yeah.
you take average, then the person who does all 2 or 3 is as a disadvantage, no, as opposed to the person who does 1.
No,
If
you'll
my
be
first round goes
surprised.
very well, why will I do the second and third then, ma'am?
No,
No,
you'll
no,
be
no, no.
surprised.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Let
Sorry,
me
go
just-
ahead.
Okay, yeah. So let's say a person takes 3 rounds, and it has to be 2 rounds minimum that you have to you have to minimum you're supposed to like attend 2 rounds, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
let's say there are 3 rounds and the person did extremely well in 2 rounds, but 1 round was unfortunately bad or score was bad. We will eliminate that score and take the average of the best 2. So it's
So that's what I
basically
was confirming. You're going to take average of 2 rounds and everybody has to do a minimum of 2.
yes, average of
All
best
the
2.
three. Right? So
Sorry, ma'am, I missed what you said. Can you please
I'm
repeat
saying
that?
all the rounds that you play, we take an average of that. If you've done 3, it's an average of 3. If you've done 2, it's an average of 2. And you know,
Ma'am, but by
you've
what
done
you're
this?
saying right now, the person who does 3 is at a disadvantage, ma'am.
No, it isn't. I'm just telling you, we have got enough and more experience of having done 50 plus tournaments to say the score improves when you do all 3. I'll encourage you to make sure that the child attends all 3 because that's how the parents will happen. Right?
Sure.
Give them the opportunity to do it, and you'll see in the schedules we'll space it out so that they have their breaks to be refreshed for the next round. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
want to come, Anvi, before you, I just want to, Lion, you were asking a question. So I don't see your hand up. Is the question still there? Should we clarify that?
Ma'am, for the conclusion, do we have to say our own opinion or just conclude both of the topics?
You can give your own opinion if you want to, or if you want to give a neutral opinion, you can do, or if you want, you can just summarize whatever you said. It's all yours.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, what is rebutting your points?
Rebutting is just opposing what you said. So as I give you the illustration, if you're saying that money can buy you education because you can go to good university, you just oppose it and say that even if you can go to good university, that doesn't mean that you can learn by yourself. You would still need your own skill, your own hard work, right? That doesn't come from money.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I just want to clarify a few things that are being asked on the chat also. The topics will be released by end of the day today. We will try to release it all by 9 p.m. Okay, so that is one thing I'm going to be very clear about. And I just want to, so Afrin, you can just stop sharing the screen a little. I just want to double check whether they've understood every aspect on this one. So, okay, I'm getting some basic questions over here. I can see that 60 of you are here, though I know that approximately 30-40 of you will be playing turncoat on 17th. Okay, so this session is for students who are doing turncoat. That's what we are discussing. Everybody is clear on the fact that turncoat is for 3 minutes. It's a 3-minute speech. First minute is for, second is against, and third time is you conclude. You will get 3 chances. All right. So Anvi, with that, you still have your hand up. Please ask the question. Yeah.
My doubt was that when the 3 rounds are done, when will we get the result? Like after
will
how
get
many
the result
days?
Much later, but this is not the time to ask it because this is the question you can ask tomorrow. I want to focus on turncoat. Is there any doubt on turncoat? That's where I want to see the hands up, please. Tanvi, go ahead. Okay.
Adi?
Myra, Tiara? Adi, go ahead.
Yes,
So, ma'am, there are 3. Sorry. So, can I continue? Ma'am, there are 3 rounds at the 3 topics. Okay. So, he would be given there is a 3 minutes each topic. It comes to 9 minutes.
Yes.
I understand it's a continuous round, but he would be given the 3 times a option. So, whatever is the best one would be selected out of that, right? Is
We
the
tend to do
understanding
an
correct?
Average of all.
Average of all.
Average of all.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, and it would be the similar thing he would be speaking after it because it's it's the same thing which he would have prepared, a child would have prepared on each topic. Right?
So the topics will be released by end of the day today so that you have adequate time to prepare. And the topics will change for all the 3 rounds, right? But the topics for finals on 1st of July will definitely be different.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Myra?
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you have a hand up.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can we take our notes on the offline day? We will be preparing the notes 1 hour
We'll
earlier.
train you. Myra will train you for the offline day. But right now, I just want to make sure that you give it your best for the turn code. Okay? For 17. Yeah, Devash. Just be on mute, please. Then be on mute, please. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Devarshi, you were asking. Terry, you were
Ma'am,
asking.
is there a common topic for all three standards, fourth, fifth, and sixth?
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
so
are
fourth,
a,
fifth, sixth, yes, correct.
you are a grade category. Okay, so for international debating, what happens is you are a same grade category from 6 to 12. Here we've still given you 4 to 6 is one grade category. So you'll have a common topic. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Yes,
you.
Terry.
Yeah, so if a child decides only to do 2 rounds, so it would be average of 2.
It's unfair to
And
the competitor if they decide to do 2. Just drop me an email at hello@ogly as to why this request is coming in. We'll take it offline.
this is not a request. I was just trying to interpret what you replied to Vedang's mother.
Yeah, but I just want you to take this offline because we want to encourage everybody to take 3. Because what happens is the software automatically pairs on the students. So if a student doesn't show up for the match, then the competitor is going to be very sad and waiting for somebody to fill in. So we'll take this offline. Myra, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, I'm mother of Myra and Tiara. Ma'am, they both have participated in the same event, which is Turncoat. Now, on the day of online debate, Turncoat, would they be allowed to use one single PC, or I have to arrange for 2 laptops for them separately?
I don't know whether we can. I'm hoping that they won't have the match at the same point of time. I'll just see if the team can entertain it. Afrin, let's make a note. Ma'am, just drop us a mail or just drop us a DM on Ogly. But
We'll try to schedule it like accordingly so that
we'll try to schedule it at different times, but it's very difficult because we randomly allocate times, right?
I understand, ma'am. They both are in different classes. One is in class 4th and one is in class 6th.
Offline. I'm just saying right now, I just want to spend the time on Turncoat students. So we'll take this offline. Just drop us a DM at Ogly number. Right?
Right, ma'am.
It'll be great if you can arrange for 2 devices. Yeah, Devang, Vidang.
I'll do that, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question is that what is the pairing for in Turncoat? Last time we had 10 children in one room and all 10 went one after the other. It's not a one-on-one, no. So what is the pairing for?
We'll come to that. We are seeing amazing amount of volumes considering it's summer months, but we can come to this conversation logistics a little later. Nidhi, is there any question that you have on Turncoat? Is every student clear on the format right now? Because I just want to make sure you're all set for your Turncoat. You understand this is something that you do on your dining tables every day. First we convince, then we think of another point of view. When our mother tells us something, then we rationalize. Don't we do that? We want to go down to play. She's saying, don't go down to play. So you say, no, listen, this is my point of view. Your mother says, this is not the time to go down. And then you all agree. You all do Turncoats daily. When you want a chocolate and when your mother says, no, this is not the time. Or then you come back and say, Mama, but I can have that chocolate if I brush my teeth. So you're all doing it. So 1 minute for the motion, 1 minute against the motion, third time you're concluding it. You all agree? Do you ask for chocolates for your mothers or not? Please give me a raise of hands.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. We want sometimes we don't get them to say yes to us immediately, right? Sometimes our parents say, I'm thinking about it. So you go back and think, okay, how is she thinking about it? How can I convince her? You do it naturally. This is a formal format to do it. The best way to stretch your mind, be able to see both sides of you. So with that, thank you so much for raising your hands. I'm assuming everybody else likes something else to have, not chocolates. Is everybody clear on Turncoat? Because then I just want to make sure. Oh, thank you, Shania. That's a nice mom. So I just want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with Turncoat, because then Afreen ma'am was giving you the super duper tips. So Afreen ma'am, back to you. I think you were concluding some tips for Turncoat to keep in mind.
So those of you who are confused with the third point, do not read what the lines are, because it probably is very, very scary at the beginning. But just remember, as I mentioned while I was telling you, it's basically about transition from for to against, because you wouldn't say, now I'm speaking for the motion and now I'll speak against the motion. This is not how you would want to do it. You would want to make it attractive so that the judges are getting or giving you attention while you're speaking it. So you have different ways to do that. I think I mentioned a couple of times as to what are these different ways in order.
Yeah, just go on mute, so put him on mute. Lovely. So, like Marvin ma'am is saying, you can think of creative ways. We've had some people suddenly make a quote. So just this is your creative space to say, how will I transition from 4 to 8? Right? And a pro tip that she's giving is, if you've given 2 arguments for, then try to give 2 arguments against as well. Right? Okay. Yes. Moise, you have a question? Go ahead. Go ahead. Tanvi, go ahead. Moise, go ahead.
Avani, I'm guessing that it's just like
That's
there
okay.
from the last time.
No, actually, I have a question.
Okay,
Do you
go
mind if I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, I was wondering if we have to like follow the specific format of 1 minute for, 1 minute against, and then 1 minute conclusion. Like, would it be okay if we did like 1.5 minute for, 1.5
No, you
minute
can.
against?
So as I mentioned, and I have been mentioning a couple of times, it's 50 seconds introduction, 1 minute for, 1 minute against, and 30 seconds conclusion. And I've said it in the chat box as well. You cannot exceed 1 minute. And if you will exceed, the judges are going to down mark you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So after 3 minutes, they don't even listen to the marking anymore. So that's how we control time, apart from tapping you, right? So I think, Afrin, it will be lovely if you can give us a sneak peek as to what are the judges thinking.
Yes, let's just think about, and because there have been questions, can I use hands? Can I use my notes, etc.? So there are 3 ways how judges are going to mark you. And it is equal in the way how they're going to considering it. So there are 10 points for matter, 10 points for manner, and 10 points for method. But what is matter? So the kind of content that you're going to use, are you using good research? Are you using good content in terms of arguments? Are you using good logic? Did you use common sense? Did your point make sense? Was it relevant? All of it is going to be considered in matter. So if you have all of that good matter and quality, you'll be getting 10 points or around that point. The second is manner, which is basically the way how you're presenting it. Are you continuously reading a note, or are you continuously reading it from your laptop or computer? Or are you making eye contact with the judges? Are you engaging throughout the speech? Are you trying to use your voice modulation? Do you have ethical conduct? Are you basically using your hands, etc., etc.? So basically, eye contact, the way how you speak, your pronunciation, your engagement, your ethical conduct, all of it is going to be considered in your manner. Last is method, which is really, really important in the way how you're going to basically time yourself. So did you use the first 30 seconds to introduce the topic? How did you do so? Did you actually stick to the time limit for 1 minute for? Did you stick to the time limit for 1 minute against? Did you have equal like points for and against? Or did you stick to the time limit in order to end the entire speech in 3 minutes? All of it is going to be considered in method. Okay, so you're supposed to be on time, covering the exact same, like covering everything that we've told you in terms of tips. So have good content, use your time to prepare a good speech, deliver it nicely, and be on time is what like the last 3 tips that I would give you for turn. Are there any questions for the matter, or are there no questions? Manner method. Tanvi, do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, actually, I didn't understand the C point in the last slide.
See, I told you again, like the idea was.
Let's go back to the C point once, Afrin. Is there any other question that anybody has? Because we have one question, we can definitely take it.
Yes.
Mary, what's your question? Let me just hear it.
Do they have like a buzzer in between, like 1 minute over? Will they like have something to notify us or something?
We will share the timer on the Zoom. However, as I said, time your speech in such a way that you don't need a timer to be displayed, and also have a stopwatch alongside you so that you can watch your own time. Okay.
Okay.
And Avni, what's your doubt? I'll just come to Tanvi.
Yeah, ma'am, I just wanted to ask if we could give out rebuttals, like if we're third speaker, could we give rebuttals?
It's only for turncoat right now, so we will come back to.
Just give us a minute or so. Just stop sharing the screen. Tanvi, is it okay if you switch on the camera, dear? Are you comfortable with that? Just stop sharing the screen, Afrin. Okay, Tanvi, are you looking for the answer for point C?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now imagine I have got Afrin ma'am telling me that I have 3 minutes of speech. For 30 seconds, I'm going to introduce. I'm going to say, I'm going to. Vibha, just be on mute, please. Hello, Vibha. Thank you. So Tanvi, I've introduced myself for 30 seconds. I've told you I'm going to be speaking about this topic. I broadly think this about the topic. So let me tell you why I support the topic. So that is for the motion. When I support something, I'm for it. I want a chocolate today because I have done all my homework in time. I have not been eating too many chocolates. I eat a lot of healthy food. So I've given 3 arguments to my mother. And also, Mama, by the way, I eat much lesser chocolates than my other classmates. I have been listening to all of you. I have told you 4 arguments for the motion. Do you know, Mama, I suddenly realized I don't want to have chocolate. So I said it in a very boring way. When I'm switching my stance, now I want to say against the chocolate, right? So I've spoken for the chocolate for 1 minute, but I want to say against the chocolate for 1 minute. But if I say, you know what, now I think I don't like chocolates anymore, is the most boring way to say. What would be some interesting ways of switching stance? Do you want to use the chat box and give me some ideas? On the same topic of, I think I deserve a chocolate, how can I switch my stance? Do you want to give me some interesting ways of saying it? If I change my mark, change my thoughts. Afreen, do you want to give me an exact idea, Afreen, how you would switch your stance?
So I could probably say that I think chocolates is for kids. I'm not kid anymore. And then you can turn on and say that why do you don't like chocolates anymore? So I think it's just that.
Point C, Tanvi, was about what do you say when you switch to the other side to say, I don't think I'm kiddish anymore. Yeah, so somebody's saying, let me turn the coat. That's an interesting way to say it as well, right? Let me turn the coat, or, you know, let me be on your side. I know how difficult it is to look after me and keep me healthy. Some interesting thing that you say is what point C is. That give us a twist before you switch to the other side and say, you know what, after all, chocolate has no nutritional value. There are so many more ways of interesting sweets to have. We could have dates instead as well. So that's all. Yeah. So I'm saying Riti is also taking us that. Yeah. I can't. She's
That's a good way. You know what? I have had enough chocolates. I have a toothache now. Let me just tell you.
Oh, Mama, my tooth is aching suddenly. Yeah. I think I understand where you're coming from. So I switched my.
Done, good job. Correct. All right. Should we now see the topics for turn code?
So all the turn code students, you are good. We could look at the topics because then we will start the debate training. And we'll post this on the group also, Afreen?
Yes. All right. The 3 topics for round 1, round 2, round 3. Round 1 is students should not be expelled in primary school. You know, there are different ways and reasons as to why students are expelled in primary school or any school for that matter. So you're supposed to tell us to why students should not be expelled, or if so, why should they be expelled, or what are the benefits out of it? So, you know, expulsion most of the times is a punishment, it's a kind of punishment. So why this particular kind of punishment is good or bad is what you're going to talk about. Round 2 is the decline of social sciences will increase with the onset of artificial intelligence. Now, can anyone quickly give me an example of artificial intelligence in chat box, please? Have you interacted with AI, artificial intelligence? Chat GPT, yes. Siri, robots, yes. Good job. So the idea is, because we have so much into Chat GPT or so much in terms of like technology, science, etc., are we actually reducing our interest towards social sciences like history, political science, basically all of these subjects? Or is it good in the first place? So the idea is the decline of social sciences will increase, which means that in the coming days, it's likely that we're going to have less importance given towards the social science subjects. So that's what you're going to talk about. So you're going to say on proposition or for the motion, you will say yes, it will be declining. And on opposition, you would say no, even if artificial intelligence is there, it's likely that it won't increase the decline in social sciences. Okay, can anyone give me a quick example of what subjects come under social sciences? Social science, history, yes. What else?
Yes.
Geology, okay. Geography.
Very good for grade 4 to 6, right?
Good job. Good job. Yes, yes.
Very
yes.
good. Very impressive, I must say. Civic,
Yes,
oh my
you're
God.
supposed to basically establish the importance of it in your speeches, and I'm very happy and I would be very interested to see all of these speeches. The third speech is India should disincentivize students from studying abroad. So disincentivize is like, should we promote or should we or should we just like depreciate the idea of having students studying abroad? So how can India stop students from studying outside, or how can India promote students from studying for studying outside is what the topic is. Are there any doubts on the topics particularly? If you have any doubts, please raise your hand and let me know what your doubt is. But did you understand? So round one, you'll give an instruction of what expulsion from school looks like for 30 seconds. And then you will give a 1 minute speech as to why students should not be expelled. Then 1 minute speech as to why students should be expelled. And then you will give a conclusion as to like why, let's say, and you can have your own ways. You'll probably say why punishment such like these are probably going to disincentivize students from studying better, etc., etc. Round two, you're going to first give an introduction to what artificial intelligence is and how the importance of artificial intelligence is increasing. And then you will take 1 minute to tell as to why we will essentially have decline in the interest towards social sciences. And then for 1 minute, you will say, no, we won't have decline towards social sciences. We'll give more importance to humans. And then for 30 seconds, you can conclude. Lastly, in third round, you will give a quick intro as to what studying abroad looks like for 30 seconds. And then for 1 minute, you will say as to why India should stop students from going abroad for study. And then for 1 minute, you will say, no, India should actually like let people go outside and study. And then 30 seconds for like why there is a middle ground. So India can let people go outside, but also make sure that we have good education system in India as well. So this is just an example. You can use your own thought, brain process, research in order to frame good arguments and speeches. But please take a screenshot of this. We're also going to send the motions, but just for like right now to calm your excitement, these are the topics for 3 rounds.
So Afrin, what I'm thinking is we'll just stop the recording and start record the WSDC.
Yeah, sure.
Just stop the recording.